this panelist, we're going to feed your brain before your stomach. They are very unique. Okay, among all the investors here and our participants, we're going to talk about something which is there. And I'm going to ask my panelists, each one to introduce themselves. We start with Candace, which I know her for many, many years. She was my guest in one of my family wedding in Bahrain. And she called it unique wedding.
Thank you, yes. And it was very special more than 10 years ago to be at your daughter's wedding in Bahrain. And Hadi had many members of the royal family there and all his extended family. I mean, they've got this huge compound where it's very sweet because all the cousins and all the uncles and all the brothers and all their children, they all have houses, big compounds next door to each other. And the wedding was in their compound. It was one of the most beautiful weddings I've ever been to. So thank you so much for your hospitality when I came to Bahrain. I really appreciate it.
And all of you come to Bahrain.
He's the best host if you go to Bahrain. But anyway, moving right along. My name is Candace Beaumont, and CIO of L Investments and Chairman of Salsano Group. L Investments is an endowment-style portfolio for a US-based family, and Salsano Group is Sandro Salsano's family office. He's a self-made Italian billionaire who lives between Panama, Miami, London, and Switzerland, and is married into one of the more prominent families in Panama, and has been ranked the number 6 ranked billionaire in Central America by Forbes. We're both an LP in funds, and we do direct investing. Sandra is also a trustee of University of San Diego, where he went to school, and someone involved in their endowment now as well. And we look at every asset class from real estate to technology. Right now, we are co-lead on Retro Biosciences, which is an AI healthcare company, with Sam Altman. And we're putting probably 50 to 100 million, which is an oversized check for us, into one transaction. And also have a family foundation and very involved in a lot of the philanthropic giving of the family, which spans, they like education, but they focus on every sector. And they don't just give away money. I'm very impressed with Sandro and his wife and their young children, because they actually go to orphanages personally throughout Panama. And Sandro and his wife really want the children to have an appreciation for what they have. And so they go actually physically to orphanages on a regular basis, and they want their children to see children that don't have the same privilege, and to be active in giving them presents and helping enhance their lives. And so I feel really blessed to work for someone who's not just one of the greatest leaders, and Sandro and I both the same class, Young Global Leaders of the World Economic Forum, so he's been acknowledged. I mean, I guess we've both somewhat been acknowledged for our leadership. But he's not just a great leader, but he's also a great person. And I think these days that is tremendously rare, to have people who don't just do great things with their money, but also with their hearts and with their time and with their actions. So I feel really blessed to work for a leader like that, who is really living his life in a way that really wants to help others. So yes, that's a quick summary on us.
So I would like each panelist to have 90 seconds so we can enjoy the session after.
Hello everybody, my name is Balbir Singh. I have a multifamily office, a VC operation. I work with approximately 45 families around the world. We focus with Gen Zs. I've got a 19-year-old in the room that's a multi-millionaire, made his first million when he was 16. I support female founders in healing, AI. On top of that, our family offices have collective power to move a lot of money. Please connect to me on LinkedIn, send me a message, and there's one person next to me that's inspired me in my route to discovery of crypto and the blockchain, and he's next.
Thank you, and let's take a trip to Panama together. Brock Pierce grew up starring in movies, was Internet 1.0, 1997, building the first sort of streaming media business, ended up building out the world's virtual or digital currency markets through the 2000s, hundreds of thousands of people mining digital currencies, principally out of China, was PayPal's largest merchant for years, instrumental in launching Alipay. I was Goldman Sachs Principal Strategies' first private investment. I could go on. Eventually led to crypto. I've been chairman of the Bitcoin Foundation for most of its existence. Chairman of Mastercoin, we invented the ICO, changing capital formation. Started Blockchain Capital, the first venture fund in the space, one of the most successful firms of all time. Tether, the stablecoin USDT, $125 billion plus of US Treasuries purchased, invented the security token, worked with Dr. Patrick Byrne on the first bond issuance, Block One, first crypto bank, ran for president of the United States in 2020 as an independent candidate, worked with governments around the world, principally on innovation as a tool for transformation, led the first delegation into El Salvador for President Bukele, and almost did the same for the president of Panama, got the two political parties to drop their legislation, refile as joint legislation, got it passed unanimously, and I was the closing keynote speaker at the Bloomberg New Economy Conference where the president was supposed to sign it into law. Well, let's say the powers that be blocked if the new government wants to get it done, so let's schedule that and make the world a better place.
Brock happens to be a neighbor of mine. We don't see each other except at conferences. That's crazy things, right? You know?
Gotta come over more.
Yeah, I know, that's what it is, right? My name is Gordon Grant Curtis. Those of you who know me, I have been CIO and executive director for an Italian family office since 2003. Yeah. Seems like it was yesterday. And a lot of these people on the panel I've known for 20 years, which is great. And I know a lot of people in the audience, and I appreciate being here. From a financial perspective, our family is interested in 3 investment themes: flips, spreads, and tolls. And that doesn't preclude everything else, but those are the things that we understand. Those are the things that make us money consistently. We're not dependent necessarily on what's going to happen in the stock market or the crypto market or any of those things. But there are opportunities out there. I would say 90% of my job with the family has nothing to do with that, because we've kind of got that part of our business. I won't say it's on autopilot, but we have a great way of financing governments and banks, and it works nicely for us. But most of it really has to do with taking care of the needs of the family. You know, as a single family office, we have 2,700 plus family members, one family, 600 years of history. I think we're second or third oldest family that I'm aware of. But it requires a lot to take care of everybody, to keep people safe, to make sure bills get paid, you know, for the group that it's almost like a commune in some respects. But a very interesting endeavor for me, because I started off in Wall Street in 1976 as a runner on the American Stock Exchange when I was tall and thin. I'm still tall but not thin, unfortunately. But since that time, like I said, I've had the opportunity and interesting opportunities even to work with our current president through his workouts in the 80s and that sort of stuff. I worked for a major investment bank that held a lot of the different paper and projects that he had. Anyway, let me pass it off to my good friend, Kevin McGovern.
Grant, it's great to be sitting next to you, and it's great to be on this great panel. And Sir Anthony, wherever you are, it's so nice to be part of your family. Sir Anthony. McGovern Capital, we're a family office. Basically, we got started with a beverage called Sobe, the fastest growing beverage company, even to this day, ever. We created the nutraceutical category. So I turned from a deals lawyer into a family office. And our motto over the last 20 years was catch the current and make the wave. We've co-founded 7 category or world leaders. We were talking about skincare before. I own the patents on alpha hydroxy acids and brought them all over the world, 80 countries, 40% of all skincare products. But most of all, we've changed. My son and I, my daughter is in the executive suite of Amazon, and she knows what we're doing, but she's not working with Dad. Love her dearly. And I'd like to talk about my son later, but not now. But we've changed our motto to take our success and be significant. So we don't talk about it, we do it. We have solutions for microplastics, we have solutions for power consumption, and solutions for education. We talk about it if we have time today. So we only take on things at this point that will change the world, because everybody in this room is so successful. We all need to be significant. And I must tell you, I just came back from Riyadh, and a dear friend of mine said, "What'd you think of the conference, FYI?" And I said, "I thought it was wonderful." 75% of myself was really happy, but 25% of myself was sad. And the reason I was sad is because I never heard the word poor. I heard about AI, I heard about exuberance, I heard about all the money in the world, but I didn't hear how those technologies were going to help the poor, because the rich are getting richer, and the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. And we need to be taking care of everyone. And we need to be significant to everyone, not just the people in our room and not just the people on our level. So please, that's really important to us, and I know it's important to the good people of the Ritosa family. Thank you.
I'll try to save some time from everyone else so we can have a panel, because everyone went on for too long. Sean Lavagar, LA-based, balanced between LA, London, Abu Dhabi, Singapore. We focus, I started in telecom late 90s. Our current portfolio, the thesis is private equity. We don't invest into venture, only in venture growth in certain areas. But the portfolio thesis is based on intellectual property portfolios. And so four focus areas: intellectual property, licensing and acquisition, to build and restructure companies, corporate carve-out, roll-up strategy, and then 40% of the portfolio is on cash-generating asset across either financing different assets to do participate in real estate on the debt side. I got started in crypto in 2012, not by choice. I had an analyst who literally pounded my head, and he's been a great analyst ever since. On the portfolio side, we probably had lots of fun. We've done, drugs to pharmaceutical drugs to cancer patients in Asia, and on. We've brought in a lot of different products across multiple jurisdictions. But probably one of our funnest product has been 3D digital hologram in 2012 into now what's called as AR, augmented reality, into Rite Aid store and distributed 4,600 store for digital coupon and advertising as a joint venture with American Express.
Thank you very much. So to control time, to make you go for lunch on time, I will do a democratic approach. I have 4 questions for my panelists. I will not target it to any one of them. Anybody could answer. So to give them the freedom to talk, so we have time control. My first question, 80% of the growing family business in the world, they are shifting from investing in fund to direct investment, so they can control their assets and follow and follow the deal of their assets. So please, any one of you can answer this.
Sure.
Lady first.
We've actually been doing that. So traditionally, we were predominantly in LP and funds, and we still do invest in fund managers. But what we found was our direct investment portfolio had a 35% IRR, and so it was higher than most of the managers that we had invested in. And so now we are doing more direct investing. So, and because I think when you work for a billionaire family, they have really good relationship with other billionaire families. We've co-invested a lot with a lot of other billionaire families in their transactions, so we're able to leverage strategic expertise of other really great people. And the transaction which I mentioned earlier, which we're doing right now, is obviously Sam Altman is an expert in AI, So you couldn't have a better partner leading to be co-lead in a deal than Sam Altman in AI. And that's why Sandra's joined the board of directors of this company and is co-leading it with Sam Altman and hopes to extend human life for more than a decade. So I think it's a big trend and I think it'll continue. And a lot of other families are also starting to do SPVs alongside them for transactions they're working on as well. So I think that's a trend that's only going to grow, and I think it's driven by families in the first generation, and because I work for a first generation wealth family, they like to have control. So I think you see a difference in, if it's a first generation family, they're doing more direct investing, and if it's a family in the fourth and the fifth and sixth generation, then they might have a team that's doing more allocations to outside managers. So I think you do see a bifurcation based on what gen the family is.
Anybody want to add something? Okay.
I was just going to say, social media has been the biggest driver of our family offices and the VCs. We're investing more as we're getting highlights from LinkedIn, we're getting highlights from family office gatherings such as this place. I think what we're also seeing is VCs and family offices and LPs are turning up more and more to these crucial events, and therefore we're meeting people which otherwise we wouldn't do. So social media has been one of the biggest trends, and I think the Gen Z market maturing, the crypto market maturing, means that there's a younger stance in this market. It's the old-fashioned ways of doing things, they're changing. The youth and the crypto markets are enabling, Brock, you would probably agree with this as well, we're able to influence the future because we've got more capabilities financially.
Okay, you want to add?
I've been focusing on, I went from an entrepreneur with multiple exits to investment banking into private equity. So having the buy side, sell side has enabled me to bypass, being an LP in many of the funds, even though we have SPV structure with 5 largest institutional asset manager private equity hedge fund that we participate in, but we're not LPs, we're participating in deals. So it's more of an SPV structure. But I think, just like that comment, a lot of the, whether they're doctors or lawyers and they have specific knowledge in the area, they're missing the amount of resources that it takes to be successful at doing deals. And to have the right amount of resource, whether on human resource or capital structuring or insurance or being able to understand the geographical situation, whether macro or micro, is very complicated. So those funds still have structure, even though I don't participate in funds, but those funds have a place and that could be very beneficial to a lot of investors.
Okay.
We've done business in 80 countries, and there's a reason why we only deal with family offices and not with politicians. And don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking politicians, but they come and go, and family offices stick around for generations. I was known as the matchmaker in Shanghai. I used to bring a lot of U.S. businesses to China in the 90s, okay? I'll never forget Congressman Wortley. We're out to lunch, and he says, Governor, you got all this cover all over Asia. I said, George, what's cover? He says, Kevin, there's the military, there's the government, and there's business. The more successful you are, mostly in foreign countries, but in some applications in the U.S., the more they're going to put their hand out for you, and they're going to want to be part of your business, even though you don't want to be part of their business. If you're dealing with the right family, and I can list in 40 countries the family we deal with, 1, not 10, you deal with 2 or 3, you're out of luck. You deal with that family and they provide you cover. I know that sounds silly, and you give them a piece of the action, and even if they introduce you to somebody else in the country, but what we learned is make sure you're dealing with family offices around the world and be generous to your partners, and you will be very, very benefited by that. Last point, Hadi. During the Great Recession, we were invested in maybe 6 funds. And I learned that on page 65 or 55 or 45, there's a provision that if, in case of a financial distress, we keep your money, because that money is really ours, until we decide to give it to you. So we had to play a little bit of hard nose, and we got a lot of that money back. We did okay, thank God. The thing I learned about is invest direct when you can. Because sometimes these funds, and that's probably 90% of the time, have that little provision. So if you can do it direct through gurus and people that you know in this room, or family offices outside of this room, it's a much better way of investing, in my humble opinion.
Thank you. My respected panelists, now everybody have 59 seconds. Please.
I think you have 3 more questions. Shall we move on to the next one?
I have 3 questions. So we talk about technology and AI. Okay, so what do you think the global family offices will go from this technology and the AI?
Well, ignore AI at your own peril. It is affecting everything. Everyone's life,
59
and
seconds.
every business, meaning if you are not yet acquainted, if you are not currently using a Grok, a ChatGPT, or Perplexity, or one of these tools, make sure you download it. Because you have, not like the Internet of Information, infinite wisdom at your fingertips, right? The democratization of information. You have the ability to get to answers in lightning speed like never before. And then similarly, in your business, if you're not using it, you're going to lose it. You will lose your business, and you will likely have problems over the long term in your family office. So just words to the wise. This is an essential thing in your life, and if you're not yet familiar, or you feel like, well, I'm out of touch, you need to make the time for it. Block out a day in your life, find somebody that you know, young person or otherwise, expert, take them to lunch, spend a day, treat them to the beach, day on a boat, bring them on the jet, and have them get you up to speed. I can't do that in 59 seconds, but thank you.
I was going to say, in our family, we have over 300 employees, and most of them are in Southeast Asia. And really, our directive for them is that by the end of 2026, I'm not letting anybody go, although I could automate a lot of the things that we're doing currently manually. What I've said to everybody is, I'm expecting 1.5 times your current work product, or your job is on the line. And I've set out ways to do it, how to educate them, how to ask the right things of AI, and how it can help and make more efficient what we're doing, make better, and improve our decision process.
Thank you.
Learn from others, learn from young people, hang out with young people, let them teach you a lot about things. I teach at Cornell, MIT, and Stanford. I lecture at MIT and Stanford. Long story short, you know what, Brock? I agree with you 100% about AI. But you know what? You know what I think the real race is? And you may agree, you may not. Quantum computing. Okay? Within 3 years, 4 years maybe, and I learned that from the academic world as well as the government world. And keep an eye on that. Keep reading about it. I'm working with a couple of quantum avoiding decryption technologies. Keep an eye on quantum computing, because they who win that race may rule the earth. So to me, we got to keep listening to young people as well as ourselves, and keep listening to where the trends are.
Thank you.
Next question.
Okay, next question. Is sustainability and ESG. ESG stands for environment, social, and governance. How will this influence family businesses to go forward?
Well, I mean, we got one planet we share, and there are a lot of places you can deploy your capital to achieve a return. Let's try and make sure that we use discernment not to invest in things that are not going to serve the betterment of all. Discard those ones in terms of your asset allocation and your diligence process, and make sure that you're investing in things that are going to create a better world, right? Every time we give our time to something, every time we give our money to something, we are giving power to something. Let's make sure that we're empowering those things that are going to build a world for the 7 generations that follow. It's not an if, it's a must. You got to do it, be the change you want to see in the world, and it starts with you. Invest wisely, invest in the future.
Okay, so next question. And alternative investment. People are, the family office is shifting from a fund, as I said in the beginning, to direct investment. Why is that you think will help family office to grow?
Well, I think part of it is outsourcing. You know, when you've given your money to a fund, you've heard about some of the limitations, which is you don't have direct access to your money. But one of the most important things in life, if you want to continue to stay sharp, is curiosity. You know, you get involved. Every time you take a meeting around a direct investment, you're getting direct access to those that are actually building something, and you're getting an education. You want to continue to be informed, to be as informed and with knowledge as possible, so you can take that knowledge and apply it with wisdom into will. And the closer you get to the source of knowledge, the better equipped you are for you and your family as you continue to share that knowledge around the dinner table, and you're cutting a lot of the fees out. But yes,
Honey, quick
do the
thought.
work.
Quick thought. Have a consensus in your family about what charities you want to do and make it happen. James Corman and I work with foster kids, and we love working with him, and we do a lot. We think we have some influence even on the White House, but we'll leave it at that. And clean water. Find themes, make it happen, and have your children participate in what you're doing so they understand that you're not just a business person. You have a heart and a soul, and that's really important to your family and to your longevity.
And creating that legacy.
Thank you.
We have.
I think I'll go on the last one.
So we're gonna get another question.
Yeah, that's the last one because we are, people want to eat.
That's important now. I just want to share one last
Okay.
principle. It just takes 2 seconds. There's one decree that we live our entire life in our family office by, and it's called the 7 Ps. Prior proper planning prevents particularly poor performance. If you want to talk to me about it, see me at the end of the conference or sometime in between.
Thank you. Okay.
I think it's really important to have the ability to analyze the data, and IBM has been using AI since the 80s, and plenty of asset managers have been using AI for trading purposes since 2006, 7, 8. And so AI is basically a filtration of big data, and the LLM is making it more a language that we could take advantage and use. So those are all great, but I think one thing that's now is missing is the fact that even though you could go out and learn, having a lawyer, a doctor, and an accountant, or any other professional that they could bring you resources is very, very important. So bypassing and going direct might not always be the best resource for people that don't have the right resource to apply to the specific areas. So just like Kevin said, maybe use an expert or an anchor family, or Brock said, it's very similar, but what a concept from Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Don't cut corners and lose the whole boat.
Thank you.
And I agree there. Look, I think it's still relevant to invest in fund managers. So you want to have diversification. So investing in funds and doing directs, I think family offices should have both. I don't think it should be one thing or the other. I think you want to have diversification.
I have very fine request.
Please invest in the people that are in this room. If you're in this room, find somebody, invest in them, because that is the power that this room has got. Get your phones out. Everybody get your phones out. Please get your phones out. And take a picture. We're going to stand up as a group.
Okay, I'm not going to ask the last question. Let's take a photo.
Question.
No last
Get
question.
your phone out, everybody. Take a picture. Spread it on social media. You were here.
Blaber and the Green Man took a lot of this session.